Hello, guys. Welcome to Querying Science, Theology, Philosophy, and Spirituality, the Center of Science, Theology, Philosophy, and Spirituality, QSTPS, that discusses truth in an LGBTQ perspective. And today we just want to do a short video. It's a definitive video. Science is truth, and science. And what is science? Knowledge is truth. And in this age of life, people do not know what truth is or what science is. And there's a lot especially in the religious circles, there is a lot of hostility towards science. And we want to try and demystify that and encourage religious people to embrace science. Of course, many people don't embrace science because of the fact that they think it will destroy their religious settings. As a fact, it will. Yes, the whole reason why there's hostility against science is that science can disrupt religious settings. Have you seen? That's why knowledge is data. It's a set of instructions. It's like software. And so many people, we are all robots. All human beings are robots. We are natural robots. What is a robot? It's a machine that is given instructions to do certain functions. And again, humans are also computers. What is a computer? It is a machine that does calculations and processes data. Now, we are computers. We are just natural computers. And we are robots. We are just natural robots. What we mean by natural is biological. We have biological processes. A robot doesn't have fluids. A computer doesn't have fluids. It is natural things that have fluids, especially biological. So actually the right definition is not natural, but we are biological robots, and we are biological computers. And computers require software to work, and instructions are put in them. So when we are born as children, we are born empty computers. Have you gone to the computer shop and you've bought a laptop and you've bought a mobile phone, but mostly a laptop would be best. And it has no data, it has no software. So you have to get the CD and insert the software into the computer. So it can be Microsoft, it can be Linux, and all of that. So basically, that is who we are. When you are born, you're born tabula rasa. And that's what I'm saying. When you go to the shop, you buy a tabula rasa computer. And so when you buy those computers at tabula rasa, they're empty. You have to put software for them to start working and to do functions. Now, that's the same with children. You have to give children data and software to be functional in society. Because imagine if you have a child and you lock him in a room, no life, nothing, and you only feed him for 10 years. 10 years, we should even do that experiment, though it is a bit of child abuse. You get a child, put him in a room, or maybe an animal, put it in a room, plain room, only feed it. Only feed it. And then don't give it any data. Don't give it any teaching, nothing, no language. Then you let it come out. Do you know what's going to happen? It will still come out tabula rasa. Because even though it has eyes, it has seen nothing. It has seen no cars, it has seen no mother, parent, whatever, friend, it has seen no colors, knows nothing. So when he's 10 years old, you bring it out and you'll see he will still need software to function in the world. That's why we teach children. Now, the problem is when we teach children, we teach them easy software. And we give them easy software, and the easiest software is religion. And then after religion, then you think of giving them science by taking them to school, learning how to read, write, and all of that. Why are you teaching them to read and write? So that they can function in the society. Because if you do not read and write, there is a part of the society you will not function in. It's not that you can't live and be illiterate. Some people are alive and they can't read and write, and they're still living. They have lived in the world 50 years, 60. They can't read and write, and life is still going on, meaning you can survive without education, but that person cannot function in an educated setting. You see, he can't, because he doesn't have the software, doesn't have the data in him. So we give them science, we give them knowledge. Science is knowledge. So religion is also a science. It's just that it's not a verifiable science. It's a pseudo science. It is a science that's not based on facts. All our cultures, even customs, they are all sciences. So because science is just knowledge. Yeah, and there are so many knowledges. So you eat it, you eat it, you eat it, you eat it, you eat it. Then, but science, the science we call science, is the highest knowledge because it's verified. It's verified, it is confirmable. Even in ancient languages, like in Hebrew, the word truth means stability. It's stable, it's strong. So that is what the truth must be stable, it must be verified. You see, like this, I'm very stable. The wind is not stable because of the material. It is gaseous. So that's why people who are very shifty, they behave like the wind, because you don't know, the wind goes like this, like this. You can't hold it and pin it down and say this is what I'm saying. But for for solid things like our bones, our bodies, we have bones. Those bones, they put the body together compact, so it's solid. So it's the truth because it's stable, it exists. I can't see wind now. There are particles here right now. I can't see them. They exist. And someone can say it's not true they are particles. Reason, he can't see them. But if he sees them, then he'll know they are particles. And that's what is it. That's how truth is. So I just want to, it's just 10 minutes of discussing and I'm done. So what does this mean for someone who is religious? You have to acquire other sciences other than religion. Do not be monoscientific. Do not stick to one science. Read about biology, read about the trees. And I was even talking to somebody, and there was a homophobe I was talking to, and the homophobe was telling me, you know what, just ask for wisdom like Solomon. And I was like, yes, science is wisdom. Yeah, science is wisdom. And when you read the Solomon's wisdom, the Bible says very clearly that Solomon knew everything. He even knew the leaves, how they were. Oh, he knew many things. He knew the leaves, how they looked. He could turn. He studied animals. He studied the stars. Even that's why Kabbalah owes its allegiance to Solomon, and very many mystery sciences. They owe their allegiance to Solomon because of his knowledge and all of that. So, when you study all of these things, you become well versed in very many things. Rather than sticking to religion, a pseudoscience that is not verified, it's just a sweet science. Religion has stories, just stories. It's just gossip, and and making you happy and all of these things, but it's not verified. On the other hand, science is very hard and boring. Yes, the genetics. Oh my, you better prepare yourself to sit down and read it. So that's why many people don't read it, because it's a bit hard, it's boring, it's not tasty. You see, that's why the Bible is not a scientific book. If it was a science book, believe you me, people would not read it. And even though it is still not a science book, people still don't read the Bible. Atheists read the Bible more than anybody. Reason? They are looking for truth and they know what truth is. They can even look for error. That's what atheists do. But religious people, they don't like reading. If you want to know religious people, go to the history of the church. The Catholic Church is the history of the church. People did not read the Bibles by themselves. The only people who read the religious scripts were the teachers and the priests. And the Reformation that happened, the Protestant Reformation that led to people having the Bibles in the house, changed the whole world forever. That is why democracy is the way it is today. It's because of the Protestant Reformation. The two Martin Luthers of the world, they changed the world completely. And the first Martin Luther even changed science, because scientists left the church and started doing things minus the church, and very many societies were created, very many thoughts, philosophies were born because of the Protestant Reformation. They said anybody who can read the Bible for himself. So what happened when people read the Bible for themselves? They created new theologies and new denominations. That's why it was so bad that there was what you call a counter-reformation. The Inquisition. They had to look for Protestants and they killed them because the Catholic leadership knew the meaning. They could not control people anymore. They lost a big chunk. Do you know, if there was no Protestant Reformation, the Pope would be controlling all Christians right now. All. And he still does indirectly, though, not directly. But if it was there was no Protestant Reformation, he would be controlling them all. The theology there would be few theologies, few splinter groups, because there are splinter groups even in the Catholic Church. So meaning you don't have to be a Protestant to protest. In Africa you have some of these priests who have married, and then you in the West you have now the affirming theology, and then it's also coming to Africa, which is very good. And then you have all of these splinter groups in the Catholic Church. Then you have the charismatic Catholics. All of these people, they are there. Reason? You can protest even if you are in the Catholic Church. So what's my point? People like looking for truth. And so when we get truth, remember the truth makes you free. Meaning, if you have little truth, you are less free. The more truth you have, the more freedom you have. That's what you need to understand. And so I just want to encourage religious people out there, take time, try and read science. And this is a science. Not only are we a theological center, we are also a scientific center. And that's why we are going to be giving some videos time on science to educate people, religious people, LGBTQ. Yes, because we are now an LGBTQ world, in we are all in the spectrum, including homophobes, because a homophobe can either be LGBTQ or an ally meaning straight. So the only job we have in the world as LGBTQ persons is to help straight people become allies. And the best way to help straight people become allies is science. Science is the best, because what has happened? Why do you think the West has become less homophobic? You know, we who live in homophobic areas, why is it the West has become less homophobic? It has become less homophobic because of science. So what does that mean? Science is the answer. Truth is the answer. If you interview people who are transgender and gay in homophobic countries for a period of time, people will change. Because people have these children, it's just that they don't know. And then I noticed another thing. Uh, I met some people one time, and we were discussing about the LGBTQ movement, and I told them, in many countries the population of the LGBTQ persons is 10% or 8%, of the population. So what does that mean? It means that in a subset of 100 people, roughly 10 people are LGBTQ. So what does that mean? When you space out the 10 people, or even if it's less than 10%, that means 7% are LGBTQ, for example. That means there is a 3%, or I mean, and 7, that's 7 in 100. So for every 10, one person is LGBTQ. Another every 10. So that means 30 of the 100 people have never seen an LGBTQ person. You see? So what does that mean? That means that there's a population that is not aware about LGBTQ people. And if you don't sensitize the society through the media about them, they will. The day you meet an LGBTQ person who tells you he's non-binary, it will take like 20 years. Reason, you live in a society whereby people are mostly in the heteronormative system, so they don't have time for that non-binary. But they exist. It doesn't mean they don't exist. And this is the problem we are having in many countries. That's why when you find a homophobe, don't necessarily attack them. Give them education, give them science, because they have never seen that person. Some people they have never had an albino child. So they don't know. They don't know what is who is an albino, why albinism happens. You see? So there are very many things we don't know because we don't possess, or we are not near a person who is like that. So sometimes it's a privilege for you to have an LGBTQ person in your family, because you understand. And you'll see they behave differently from everybody else because they have a different sexuality that is rare. It's not common. That's why their psychology is different, how they think is different, even some how they dress. You look at them and you wonder, how is this, Yeah, some people wonder, and they look at someone who is queer and why is he looking like this? No, that's his expression, and they are rare. That's why you're shocked. You see, you can't be shocked at people. You see, you can't be shocked at people wearing trousers, especially men, because it's common. Men are wearing trousers. They normally wear trousers. So it doesn't shock you. But the day you see a man wearing a mini skirt and he's going to work, You'll be like, what? I saw something strange. A man, you'll come and report it because it is new. You haven't, and it's rare. That's the thing. So that's what happens to LGBTQ persons. They are rare and they're the minority. So we are not used to seeing them. And that's what's even happening in Europe. You see, they were not used to seeing women covering themselves, burqas. They were like, what is this? Is this a woman or a man? Because in the West, that's not how you dress. They are clear dressings that can show you who you are. That's why they didn't want they don't like burqas. You see, they even take to the extent that some countries banned burqa wearing. It's not because they just don't know who you are. They like dealing with someone who they can see this is a woman. Because believe you me, you can wear a burqa and you're a man. No one will know. Because it only covers your. And you see, eyes are asexual. There are men who have feminine eyes that women have, and there are women who have eyes that men have. So imagine you wear a burqa, and the only thing that can be seen is your eye. Are you a woman? And then here you cover up. A man can also have a very a bust that is open. You see. So that's why Europeans couldn't understand that, and they just said, no, 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 no. Please, we're used to knowing whom we're talking to. Yeah, and and who knows? Maybe we need to know why burqas are worn in the Arab world. Maybe it is to cover men, some men. Yes, we don't know. Anyway, that's just on the side. So anyway, I just came to encourage you. Please keep on. Let's be reading science, and you'll be seeing more science videos. And today we're going to do 2 on the science timelines. Life is time, or time is life, and that we're going to study the scientific timeline. So enjoy your time as we go through them now.